What if the thing that's been breaking you was actually building you? Not metaphorically, not as a consolation, literally building you. The waiting, the silence, the years that felt like burial. What if none of it was falling apart? What if all of it was falling into place? I want to walk you through something, because there are moments in life where we need to see the truth in someone else's story before we can dare to believe it in our own. Think about Joseph, a man who didn't just have a dream. He had a God. He had a God-breathed vision, a divine blueprint placed in his spirit before he had the wisdom to carry it. And then the pit, then the chains, then the prison cells. Not for days, not for weeks, years. Years of a life that looked nothing like the promise. Years where every circumstance seemed to be screaming, you were wrong. God was wrong. Give it up. If Joseph existed today, posting through it, journaling through it, trying to make sense of it online, the comments would have been merciless. God has moved on, bro. Take the hint. Some dreams aren't meant for everyone. But Joseph held on to something that from the outside looked completely irrational. And then one moment, one conversation with Pharaoh, one door that only opened because every painful door before it had been closed. Genesis 50:20. You intended to harm him, but God intended it for good. All of it. The pit was working. The slavery was working. The prison was working. He just couldn't see the architecture from inside the storm. And then there's Abraham, called to father nations. At 75 years old, no children, no biological possibility. Every logical, reasonable, medical, rational reading of his life said, this is not happening. But Romans 4:18 says, he believed in hope against hope. When hope itself stopped making sense, he hoped anyway. Not because the evidence supported him, but because something inside him refused to let go of what God had spoken. That is delusional optimism at its purest. Not blind, not naive, not the refusal to acknowledge pain. It is the audacity to hold a promise in one hand and your impossible circumstances in the other, and choose every single day to believe the promise is louder. And here is where I need you to stay with me. What is the thing in your life right now that looks the most impossible? The place where you believe and your circumstances are the most at war. Where the gap between what you were shown and what you are living feels like it might never close. Sit with that for a moment, because that gap, that painful, disorienting, humble space, that is not where God abandoned you. That is where He is doing His most careful work. The peace is not your ending, it is your preparation. The silence is not His absence, it is His craftsmanship. The delay is not denial, it is a door being built on the other side of the wall you cannot yet see through. And I need you to hear this before we close. Whatever you're carrying right now, it is not coincident that this found you today. That's no motivation, that's not a feeling. That is faith with evidence, written across thousands of years of people who held on when holding on made no sense at all. If this landed in your spirit today, don't let it stop with you. Someone in your life is in that pit right now, confused, tired, quietly on the edge of letting go. Share this with them. They need this more than they know how to ask. Follow for more, because what we build here every week isn't hype. It isn't noise. It is truth, spoken slowly for souls who are ready to go deeper. We are not done yet. I will see you in part 4.